welcome to ET Studios at the ET CIO Annual Conclave 2024. I'm your host Shilpa Ratnam. And joining me in the studio today are Kiran Kumar Katreddy, VP Platform Engineering from Misho, and Tom Reber, Chief Customer Officer, Redis. Thank you so much for joining us. The topic that we have at hand today is scaling e-commerce with a real-time platform. Now, to start off with, I'd love to know more about your organizations and your roles. So, if you could start it off.
Meesho is an e-commerce platform mostly focused on Tier 3, Tier 4 users and connecting a lot of India's small and medium businesses to them. And we have almost 150 million plus transacting users yearly, and most of them come from Tier 3, Tier 4. Uh, with more than 50% of them are first-time e-commerce users. They never use e-commerce, right? And we have close to 2 million sellers. Even again, 80% of our sellers are first-time e-commerce sellers. They never sold online. Uh, and we are a truly horizontal e-commerce marketplace in India. And we basically came into existence just to democratize e-commerce in India, because in the first wave of e-commerce is mostly focused on tier one, more convenience focused users. We are more focused on serving the price focused users with a less better selection at a lesser prices. That is our mode.
All right, and India is such a price sensitive market, so Misho is a big success primarily. I would also love to know more about your organization, your role, Tom.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Redis is the world's leading real time data platform with solutions in caching, database, messaging, and more recently, vector search for Gen AI use cases. We've been around for over a decade, and we have a hugely successful open source product that is used by almost every application in the world. And then we have our enterprise product that brings the scalability, resiliency, and controls and features that companies like Misho need today. In my role as Chief Customer Officer, my team is responsible for ensuring success in the partnerships we have with our customers. And our mission is to increase sustainable value for our customers like Misho and for Redis together.
Fantastic. Now, zoning in on the scalability aspect that you touched upon, especially for a market like India, which is so varied, and yet the numbers are just mind-boggling. How do you scale for such a market at Misho?
Yeah, it's more about proactive planning and building the tech which can scale for Bharat scale, right? So this is unique in a way because we work with a lot of open source and even a lot of ISV partners and cloud partners. But more often than needed, I think a lot of places we see every software hitting a limit at India scale. We end up collaborating with them, rebuilding some part of it, or sometimes we make their software much better in that process. To give an example, for example, India has a unique feature, especially when it comes to e-commerce, right? We deal with a lot of tier 3, tier 4, which are non-tech savvy users, both on the seller side as well as on the buyer side. How do you basically give that tier 1 experience to the tier 3, tier 4 users who don't speak English and who are mostly focused on local languages, right? How do you make the, them comprehend this app in such a way that they can basically interact with the app in such a way that they get what they are looking for, but without searching a lot of things. For example, in a tier one market, we have little more patience in terms of searching for a keyword. If you don't find a selection, you go add more keywords till you find something. But in tier 3, type of market, it doesn't work like that, where we need to give them multiple ways to search. For example, we provide image search, speech search, so that they can speak in their local language. Like say, they can say parda, but we'll understand it, understand the intent, and figure out what they are looking for and give that selection to them. Right? In this process, what happens is like the interaction with the app becomes very verbose. A lot of times, you see people scrolling the feed a lot more and all that, right? So it creates a lot of massive workload on our backend systems, especially when they have to scale. And on top of it, there are a lot of factors which come to play because Misho is known for uh, their selection to be the cheapest in a lot of categories like fashion and other places. Uh, Especially whenever there is a sale which happens on the competitor platform, people come here to just compare the prices, right? So these are the unannounced peaks which we see. So for these peaks you can't plan because a lot of times we don't know some other activity outside of our app is actually causing a surge on our app, right? So these are the places where we need a lot of elasticity, right? For example, something which is running on X load and now suddenly I have to scale it to 2x, 3x in matter of few minutes, right? And similarly, we see a lot of known traffic patterns also. For example, uh, if we are running, say, a newspaper campaign, morning 7 to 9, when people get their newspaper, they see, oh, there's a big ad on Meesho, there's a sale going on Meesho, and suddenly they start opening the app, or some people who are not our customers, they start installing the app just to understand what it is, right? So those peaks are more predictable, to be honest. I think the other peaks are very difficult to handle. For these peaks, we normally prepare ourselves and we build infra in such a way that it's completely scalable and it can basically handle the peak loads again, come back and to the BAU time. And similarly, we have a lot of other peaks. For example, after 9 o'clock, we see a lot of traffic and sale days come to us. This is mostly because of a lot of women in India, and even they keep their kids and everyone goes to bed, then they start shopping online. Right? Some of these unique patterns basically create a lot of sinusoidal traffic on the app, right? So this is where I think you cannot basically provision for the peak and waste a lot of money. Rather, we basically figure out solutions or architectures in such a way that they can scale based on with few seconds or milliseconds of latency. Right? So that is where the scale matters a lot, and that's where I think a lot of these ISVs like Redis comes into picture, where we need not uh, put the peak capacity upfront. Rather, we can scale beautifully with the load.
You have so many peaks and troughs, right? And like you mentioned, you can't keep operating on one capacity. You need to anticipate for more, the pattern. And I would love to hear at Redis, how do you collaborate with Misho to drive them successfully?
Yeah, it's an amazing partnership, I believe, that Redis and Misho have together. Misho is one of the best digital e-commerce stories to ever come out of India. And the reality is, if you can scale in India, you can scale anywhere. There is no market where you face the same challenges. But the only way one can do this is with, I believe, partnerships like the partnership that we have between Redis and Misho. There is not a day that passes where one of the first questions I ask every morning is, how are things going with Misho? Right? We work closely together, not just on a daily basis, but even as we look at, as the festival season comes up with things like Diwali and knowing what the sales are going to be and how do we plan for the increased load. That is something that we have to work together as, given certainly the scale of the economy here in India. And I think also we're incredibly proud of what we've been able to provide to Misho, because I think it's a testament to the technology and innovation that we've built over the years. Our ability to run in memory differentiates us from anyone else in the market, combined with our ability to scale truly linearly. And with our multi-tenancy, you can maximize the resourcing that you've contributed or committed to your Redis workloads. And it's that combination of innovation has been put to the test with Misho, and I think the partnership has been hugely successful, and we couldn't be more proud of that. And we look forward to many more years together.
Yeah, as Tom mentioned about the festive sales, right? The festive sales are very big in India. But during Dasara and Diwali, normally on a day, if I'm doing X number of orders on a festive day, it will become 3x, 4x sometimes. And more than the orders, I think the activity on the app picks up, because it will, as I mentioned before, right? All others are also running their sales. So people who are going there also will come here to check the prices, and even our own customers will come and check the prices. So overall, there is a multiplier effect. And during that time is where I think real scale get tested, and a lot of ISVs or even software, open source software we deploy, we normally reach the peak of the softwares, and somewhere we have to work closely with them to test it out well in advance, and even figure out a ways to basically solve those scale challenges together. And to be honest, I think if it comes to Redis, right, during our festive sale, their engineers will be monitoring as good as our engineers in terms of the sale. Until the sale passes, they also work just to monitor our peak loads, right? So that's the kind of partnership we have. That is the only way we can make things work at India scale, right? It's like this is pretty unique. In a lot of places, the number of users we have uh, could be a lot more than population of a lot of countries in the world, right? So that's where I think it is a unique challenge, and in that is a challenge where we work with a lot of partners like Redis to solve.
It's great to hear that it's a challenge that the two of you are taking on in such a wonderful and seamless collaborative manner. So, thank you so much for joining us and giving us all those insightful details about your partnership. And thank you for watching. At ET Studios, we bring you more such interesting conversations with top leaders. So, remember to catch the rest of our videos from ET CIO Annual Conclave 2024.